What do you guys think of these earrings? I kind of love them. My friend Desiree had a pair just like this, but they were ivory on, and I loved them. And I was trying to find some just like hers, but I found these dark ones. I think they're so fun. What do you think? They're pretty lightweight. They look really heavy, but they're actually pretty lightweight. Do you think they're too big for my face? What do you think? I think I'm gonna keep them. I like them. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am jumping on the, I guess, I'm not quite sure it's a tag video, but it all started with Emily Noel. She was asked in a Q&A video what 10 products she would go out and repurchase if she were to lose all of her makeup. And I believe she followed that up with actually a tutorial using those products. And then since I've seen a few other YouTubers do a video on what 10 products they would go out and repurchase if they lost all their makeup. So that is what we are going to do today. I stood at my vanity this morning for like 20 or 30 minutes just looking at all of my products. And first I went and grabbed the products that I reach for like daily, the ones that I really don't leave the house without putting on. And then I looked at the things that maybe I don't use daily, but if I didn't have anything else, how far could these take me? You know, how versatile are these products? Could I get a full look from these products? Could they achieve multiple different looks? So that's kind of how I selected my 10. I do have a mixture of drugstore and high-end, so without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the products that I would start my makeup application with. So I don't have any skincare in here. I feel like I can't narrow it down to 10 if I include skincare. So we're going to start with foundation. The foundation that I chose is the Face Atelier Ultra Foundation. And I have the pro size, so they don't look like anything fancy. They do come in a larger size that actually looks like a foundation bottle. Now, if you've been following me for, any length of time, you've heard me talk about this foundation. I have done a couple of videos on this foundation in the past. This made it into my top foundations for mature skin video. And then I did a complete separate video, I think it's titled The Best Foundation I've Ever Tried for Mature Skin. And this is the foundation. This is the famous foundation, Face Atelier. If you haven't tried Face Atelier, I can 99.9% promise that you will love it. I'm going to link all the videos down below where I've gone more in depth about this foundation, but the reason I chose this foundation is because it's very versatile. It's going to give me a pretty solid medium coverage, but I can get more natural coverage if I want. It's going to give me a pretty solid medium full-ish coverage if I want that. I can build it, but I can also get a more light natural application of it. The finish of this is pretty natural, so it doesn't have a matte heavy look and it doesn't have a dewy or glowy. It's somewhere in between. So I like that because if I want a more mattifying look, I can just apply more powder on that. And if I want a little bit more of a dewy look, I can just kind of mix maybe a little bit of my moisturizer in with it or a face oil. It's very versatile. Sometimes I told you guys I've been loving the Peach Perfect foundation lately, and I almost grabbed that one, but I didn't grab that one for mainly the reason of it's a great long wearing full coverage foundation, but if I'm not feeling that for the day, then I really can't achieve more of a natural look from that foundation, where this one I can get both. And you guys, this foundation is so beautiful for all skin types really, but especially mature skin. It is just beautiful. I used to stock this in my makeup kit when I was a makeup artist because I could do the bride's makeup, the bride that's in her 20s, and I could do her grandmother's makeup with this, and it would still look beautiful on both. This is a fantastic foundation. Real quickly, because I get a lot of questions about color selection, if you go to the website, you will notice that all of the shades have a yellow undertone. However, the odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, 7, they have a little bit more pink in them than the even numbers. These shades are so flexible, and what I mean by that is if you kind of get in the general range, it will work for you. It's very flexible, very forgiving. To give you an example, I can kind of wear 4, 5, or 6. I have both 4 and 6 here, and they both work for me. They just blend into the skin so nicely, and they almost flex to your skin tone. It's kind of magical. So don't worry about, obviously you want to choose the right shade, but don't worry. Oh, my shirt's doing a little weird thing here. I guess my point is know that there's some flexibility. So you could probably be a couple of different shades. So don't worry if you're I have to pick just one. You can probably pick one or either 2, lighter or darker, and they will work. Okay, I've spent a lot more time talking about that than I wanted to. The next product is the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. This is a fantastic concealer. I don't really know much else to say about it. It's drugstore. I have a couple of other concealers that I like that are high-end, but I thought, you know what, if I was starting from zero and I had to buy 10 products at once, What are some drugstore options that are fantastic? Because that way my penny goes a little bit further. I have this shade Light Pale. Quite honestly, this is a little too light for me, so I use this more as a highlighter, but I could, you know, it still works for me. For brows, without a doubt, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer is something I never leave the house. I do have microblading. It's starting to fade in a few places, so I do have to apply a little bit more of this. But I like this. It's a waxy, thick, oh, this one's almost gone. I have two other backups downstairs. It's a waxy, thick pencil. It just looks very natural. And it, like I said, it's waxy, so it almost kind of keeps the hair in place. It's not a brow gel, okay? So it's not going to completely tame wild, long brow hairs, but it is going to do more so than like a thin pencil. And then it has a spoolie on the back. I love this product. When these launched, I really haven't gone back. I've tried other products, but this is kind of the one that I go for daily. For my setting powder, I went with the Danessa Myricks translucent powder because this is a great powder for all over the face, and it's still light enough to where I can apply this underneath my eye, and it's not going to magnify any texture under the eye or make the under eye area look dry. Or accentuate, you know, like I said, texture or wrinkles or fine lines. So since I could only pick 10, I wasn't able to grab my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, which I use under my eyes, but this one is a great dual benefit. Bronzer, this was a tough one. I kind of went back and forth between Physicians Formula and my Hourglass bronzer, but I did choose my Hourglass bronzer. This one is just a little bit more intense. It gives a little bit more color, and I find myself wanting to go with this bronzer more often than the Physicians Formula. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is a great bronzer for my kind of natural light days, but this one is the one that I reach for the most. This is by far my favorite bronzer. I did go budget friendly for the blush though. I chose Milani Luminoso blush. It's this beautiful peachy, shimmery blush. I have it on today. It's just so pretty. It's pretty light. It doesn't have a whole lot of color, but if you're using a bronzer with it, it's the perfect amount. If I were to take out one of these products, I could probably take out one of these and only use a blush or a bronzer. But if I were to do that, I would not use either of these. I would find either a blush that was a little bit deeper and had almost more like a bronzy tint to it, and I would find a bronzer that was a little bit lighter and maybe had a little bit more peach to it. So yeah, but if I was going to do both a bronzer and a blush, I would go with these two. Okay, so now we are at eyes. Of course I have to have an eyeshadow primer. That is not a question. It is the Revlon Color Stay eyeshadow primer. I also like the Milani a lot. This is just one that I've been grabbing ever since I purchased it. Really fantastic eyeshadow primer. For eyeshadow, the palette that I chose is the one that I'm wearing, and it is the Original Chocolate Bar palette by Too Faced. I chose this palette because it has like some of the best neutrals in my opinion. I love all of these shades right here. All of these shades I love. These are great liner shades. It has a great highlight, a matte highlight, and then it has a shimmer here. This is just a really great basic palette. I don't really wear the purples a whole lot, but honestly I could. I'm not really opposed to wearing purples. I just find myself, you know, reaching for these a lot. But you can get a dramatic or a natural look from this. It's just a very versatile palette, and I think it's a great basics to have. The eyeliner, I definitely need a black liquid pen liner, and I went with the Physicians Formula Lash Serum. What is this called actually? Eye Booster. So it's a 2-in-1 lash boosting eyeliner serum. This is one of my favorite eyeliner pens. I think it's really easy to work with. The tip is very flexible, so I find that it's just easy to kind of have some flexibility with it and get a very precise, nice line, and it's very easy. So I like that. So what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're at the last product, which is lips. It is the lipstick that I have on now. I do have a little bit of a translucent gloss on top of it, but it is the Sigma in Spades lipstick. I love this color. It is so pretty. It's just like the perfect peachy pink, which you guys know is my favorite shade to wear on the lips. It's a matte, well, it's a creamy lipstick, so it's not really dry or mattifying. It's very rich and creamy, but I do like it just because I think it's an everyday lip color, and like I said, if I just had one lip color to reach for, I would go with this one. And that wraps it up, you guys. What is going on with my shirt here? I can't figure out. It's like I didn't want to do this because I didn't want to look like I was naked in the video, but I don't really quite like how it looks like this, so I'm just trying to keep it here, but it keeps falling. Anyway, all right, you guys, that wraps this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to know what are some of your favorite products. Like, what are products that if you lost it all tomorrow, what would you immediately go out and repurchase? I'm very curious to hear about that. I do want to mention I recently started a Facebook closed group. It's called Beauty Chit Chat, and it's a closed group on Facebook. It's basically a community that I want all of you guys to be a part of. I want you guys to communicate with each other and share tips and tricks and ask advice, ask questions, share reviews. I just want it to be a really positive place for this community. You know, I feel like I always love when I'm reading comments down below and people start kind of getting into a thread with each other. So someone will ask something and they will reply and there'll be a thread. But I feel like YouTube is kind of a hard platform for you guys to feel comfortable doing that. So this group on Facebook is all about that. So if you want to be accepted into that group, just go to Facebook and search Beauty Chit Chat. Just request to join and you'll be approved. I just ask a really quick question. I do have a couple rules for the group. I want it to always be a safe and positive place. So if there's any like negativity or any disrespectfulness of other people, those comments will be removed. I just want it to be a really fun, positive place for women. So I hope you will go and check that out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.